So that was the crash. Landed me in hospital. There's no ride data for this one because the Garmin is a bit worse. Where did it all go wrong? Well, don't know. We'll have to go through the footage. Sunday morning, lands down B grade. Super hard race. People were dropping wheels within the first 2 laps, and my teammate was attacking a lot, as was I. So we were, doing our part to make sure it was as hard as possible. And had a few cracks at trying to get a breakaway. A lot of people were quite invested in bringing it back. I had a friend, well, this guy, whoever he is, came along for the ride. We stayed away for a lap. And it's just swapping turns, feeling good. I had a few days off the bike prior to this, so my legs were quite fresh due to a work event. And perfect day for racing. Really good weather, not too hot. And mistakes were made at the end, but we'll go into that. As we go through this, you can see there's been a bunch of attacks. This guy who's at the front, his teammate is joining quite a dangerous group who's split off the front. And generally throughout this race, I had fairly good frontal position. So I was in a good position to respond to any attacks or at least bridge across. And here you can see I'm doing a bit of a sprint just to ensure that, if no one's going to help me bring this brake back, at the very least, I'm going to make it difficult for the people that are just sucking on my wheel. So a bit of a sprint to make people work. And if people continue to not work, a few more sprints. But I was able to bridge this gap on my own. Once I bridged the gap, attacks, again, straight off, people attacking. And that was the real danger. People would essentially get real tired because of all these attacks. Splits would open up, and then you would have to expend the energy to bridge across, and then the people that have been sucking on your wheel whilst you're bridging across then attack. So it was just a vicious cycle. I was heading up back to the front. I had a bit of a sort of 10-minute break at the back, just getting a good draft. And frontal position, really key. You can respond to anything. You can see the front of the race. You can see if anyone's going anywhere. I'm here with Lewis, my teammate. And Lewis, he's not a sprinter. He wants to make a breakaway stick. He really wants to go out on his own. So he's just sort of launching all sorts of attacks, and I'm just letting them go. But if anyone tries to hop onto the back, I wouldn't say sabotage the chase, but I'm there to just make sure that no one bridges across easily. And you can see that I've responded to this attempt to bring Lewis back. And the whole point of this is when this guy looks back, he's going to see me, a teammate. And he knows when he looks at me that I'm not going to do anything to bring Lewis back. So he's on this chase on his own. And if anyone wants to join that chase, they have to actually come around me and this rider to chase, which just takes that extra bit of effort, extra bit of energy, and it really sort of just nullifies that chase. But there was a chase. Lewis got brought back. And again, the whole theme of this race is Lewis wants to get away. He doesn't want to come to a sprint. And so when there's a bit of a lull in the pace, Lewis goes. He's attacking. And again, I'm not there to, I don't want to chase down my own teammate. I don't want to help people get across to him. I just want to be there in a good frontal position, latching on to any responses to his attack and stifling any chase, really. So not exactly blocking people, but just sort of hanging on to the back, not really contributing. And then if there is the opportunity to go over the top, I would. And generally in this instance, I would attack over the top. But I really don't like attacking into this downhill section because you can gain quite a bit of speed, and it's not the safest, as you guys will see later. So there was, I guess, a period, this is quite a long race by Sydney crit standards. So this is a 55-minute race, and yeah, there's a lot of time to sort of relax and then attack, respond, and you can see Lewis he's done. Like, he's attacked a million times, and every time it's been brought back. But you can see here there's an attack going off the front, and everyone's kind of exhausted by this stage, and it's looking fairly dangerous. This guy doesn't look like he's going with any of the moves, so I decide I have to mark this move and get onto the wheel of this cheeky guy. This cheeky guy doesn't look like he's suffering. He puts out good power, and yeah, he eventually kind of drops me off his wheel. And then I go back to this guy, and this guy was getting quite tired. So it was coming up to sort of 55 minutes. So two of the cheeky guys had sort of come off the front, and it was looking like their brake may actually stick. So Matt, I believe, in the Qantas kit, he's essentially putting in some decent effort to bring these two cheeky guys back, cheeky transport, and you can see them just up ahead. So they're within sort of they're still within visual range, which is great. And again, it comes up to the point where I've got to sort of do my turn, and I'm pulling pretty hard figures, although I'm not going all out to bring that's a fairly easy gap to sort of bridge across to. And again, I don't want to attack into this downhill because it's just not safe. So I'm going into this downhill. I'm still, putting out a threshold effort here to try and bridge across. And I don't know, I felt like pretty exhausted, but I still feel like if I sat on a wheel for 1 or 2 minutes, I'd be okay. And it was just a lapse in concentration. I've looked behind me through my left to see if Matt's still there to help me bring this chase. But whilst I've done that, I've very quickly kind of gone off course, and it was all over very, very quickly. So fractured jaw, broken bone, skull fracture in 2 places, and bent teeth, which are requiring surgery, along with a bunch of lacerations. And yeah, it's going to be a long road back to get back onto the bike, I think, which is unfortunate, because I felt pretty strong this year. So hopefully I'll be back and racing in a month, optimistically, and yeah, I'll see you guys out there.